All right, this video is part 2. Okay, we'll talk about solving inequalities. So I'm going to just jump right in. I think this is an E. I think I ended on D on part 1. Let's talk about solving inequalities. Now, I'm going to break this board into 2 pieces. Okay? If I could get a ruler from back there. Oh, I got one. Never mind. Okay? We're going to put 2 examples. The one thing you guys need to get used to is seeing inequalities and equations without whole numbers. Or I should say integers. Okay? I'm going to put some examples up here. But you want to first write the problem. That's step 1. And these steps are identical to the ones for equations. Write the problem, move the constant, and then divide by the coefficient. For the most part, these steps will work all the time. Okay? And I'll show you what I mean when I say for the most part. If I give you this example, negative 2x plus 3 is greater than or equal to 6. Okay? Step 1 says to write the problem. I'll write it again here. Okay? I know I'm supposed to move the constant, and I move the constant using the inverse operation. It's important to remember that vocabulary. Okay? When I move the constant of 3 to both sides, and you can do this just like we did equations if you need to split the left side up from the right, I have to use the inverse or opposite, so I use subtraction. The constants cross out. I bring down my variable term, bring down my inequality symbol, and then 6 minus 3 is 3. Next says divide by the coefficient. Oh, here is something I'm sure math games didn't show you. When the coefficient is negative, and as you can see, I'm going to divide by a negative 2, not a 2. When the coefficient is negative, you do it the same way, cross them out, bring the x down, but since you divided by a negative number, and only when you divide by a negative number, the inequality symbol flips, and you're left with negative 3/2. You could also change this, that negative 3/2 to a decimal, by doing 3 divided by 2, you get negative 1.5. Whichever is easy for you. You wanted to put this on a graph. Okay? I know, and I think it's easier if I graph the decimal version, but I would love for you to practice with graphing fractions on a number line. I know that if I plotted some negative numbers on here, and a little positive, I cover it. I know I have a less than or equal to symbol, so it's a closed circle on negative 1.5. Here's negative 1, here's negative 2. So negative 1.5 comes in the middle. My x's have to be less than, so my line goes to the left. Okay? And that's basically how you do it. Remember, when we divide by a negative coefficient, the inequality symbol flips. Now, when the coefficient is positive, you do it the same way you would normally. Just remember that. And that's as easy as it gets.